So it is recording right now. All right. So, hey, welcome you all. I'm so excited. We are so excited for you guys to be here. You should be feeling so proud of yourselves. You are now part of the UC system as graduate students. This experience will be so nice. I remember last year I was just like where you are right now, and above all, feel super proud of being here. So we, the team, give you a welcome, and what happened? We are going to start. Yeah, okay. So thank you, everyone, the people that fill out the Google form with the questions. So today we are going to talk about, and we are going to try to focus on the aspects of preparing for your trip. So preparing the things that you are going to pack to bring here. I know, again, I was in the same position that you are right now. You might have a zillion questions, but for today, let's try to focus on the things that you are going to pack. So thank you to all the answers. We were able to divide the general aspects into three categories: the what to bring, the packing are the basic necessities, the finances, very important, the housing, very important, transportation, and finally, some other miscellaneous and additional things that you all might know. So we're going to start with the team. This is our beautiful team. And my name is Laura. My pronouns are she, her. I am a second year student and I am doing my PhD in chemistry.
All right. Oh,
Right.
sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Mayang. My pronouns are she, her. I am a PhD student, fifth year in the molecular cell and developmental biology. I'm happy to be here. Welcome, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Sasha. I use they, them pronouns. I'm going into my second year in the education department. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think that coming into like a new space and a new country and a new place, it's really great to be able to discuss with everyone. So I'm happy to see you all here. And yeah, thanks for joining.
And then, hello, everybody. It's great to see you all here today, wherever you are in the world, whether it be in the morning, late at night, really late at night. We're so happy to see you here today. My name is Andy. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director of International Programming here in International Student Services and Programs, or ISSP for short. So I'm part of the team that works with all three of these amazing international grad peer mentors that are here today to speak with you all to really help you all prepare for your travels here to UC Santa Cruz. I just want to give another quick shout out to them because this is our first year doing this program where we have mentors supporting other graduate student mentors, specifically international students. And so all of you are in such great hands today. Again, we're happy to see you all here. And for many of you, I'll be seeing you very soon if you're participating in the graduate preparation program or just in general. We'll be seeing you at International Graduate Orientation on the 25th of September. So I will take it up in just a little bit, but you're in great hands today with our amazing mentors. So again, welcome to UC Santa Cruz.
Yay.
So UCSC is really kind of inclusive with a lot of pronouns and gender inclusion. So just kind of wanted to mention out there that you can put in your pronouns as they feel comfortable for you in a lot of formal and informal documents and spaces. There are all gender restrooms available throughout the campus. And yeah, so if you have any like questions or any other questions about that or anything else, feel free to put your questions in the chat as we go along.
Great. Thank you. Okay. So, before we start in material in our things, we all wanted you to know that this presentation is intended to be informative, and this information that you are going to see, that you are about to see, It's only the three of us sharing with you our experience as international students. So by no means it's a like an electric force, like it has to be like this. So for you, say some cases are going to be a little bit different, but this information is for you to have like a very, very, very general insight of what is to be living here in Santa Cruz. So we're going to start. A lot of questions were related to the weather. So as you can see, I'm here with my shirt, and I come from Colombia. So I come from a tropical country. I'm always complaining about the weather. I'm always complaining because here is cold. But actually here in the summer, our temperatures are pretty good. They are also oscillating. They are changing between 67 Fahrenheit, which is 19 degrees Celsius, to 75, which is 24 degrees Celsius. So the weather is nice. Make sure that you bring comfortable clothes, and yeah, make sure that you bring, casual clothing and stuff. However, during the winter, it gets a little chilly. The temperature might drop till 45 Fahrenheit, which is 7 degrees Celsius, which is cold. So if you do not know what to bring, make sure that you bring one thick, a big jacket, at least one, at least put this jacket in your suitcase right now, because for sure you're gonna bring it, you're gonna need it. And there was one question. There is one person that was worried about if they were if it is recommendable to bring a lot of suitcases, like one suitcase, two suitcases. So we, as again, as international students, we recommend you to come here as light as possible. Coming to Santa Cruz does not have an airport, so you will have to get to San Francisco or San Jose, which are the closest international airports here. So coming from those cities to Santa Cruz might be a little adventurous. So you want to be comfortable. We recommend for you guys to bring only one big suitcases. You pack everything, all your clothing that you need, that you're gonna be needing for the year, into this one big suitcase. All right. Mayang, do we have questions in the chat?
We're all good so far. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll try to answer it.
Great, great, great. All right. Now, this part is very, very important. So, what are the documents that you are going to need in the airport? And this is based, again, on my experience and the experience of many, many, many international friends. So, in the airport, most likely, and personally, I come from Colombia. Most likely, you're going to be asked for the I-20, that you should have it right now, and the letter of acceptance from the UCSC. So once you get here in the airport, in the immigration booth, they are going to ask you, of course, for your passport and visa, of course. And also they're going to ask you for your I-20. So please, 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 you can leave your head at home, you can leave everything at home, but please do not leave this I-20. Print it out, you have to sign it, and you're going to pack it into the things that you're going to bring with you, because for sure, you are going to need it in the airport. Another thing, if you want to be more conservative, if you are like a very conservative person, if you want to go like, sure, you can print things like the letter of acceptance. I printed out, and I was asked when I got here, I got here to the airport of LAX of Los Angeles, and they asked me for the letter of acceptance. So if you have the opportunity to print this letter of acceptance, if you have a letter of recommendation, if you have a letter of invitation, if you have one of these formal legal documents, you can print them out, because you might be needing them. All right. So this is the I-20. This is how it looks like. Please make sure to print it out, sign it at the bottom of the page, and have it ready in the immigration part. This is how it looks, the letter of acceptance. So again, I was asked for this document in the airport. Some other friends, they didn't ask for this document. They were only asked for, of course, the passport with visa and the I-20. That's it. But you know, if you want to be conservative, you can print this document out. Another document this is for the people that already has a social security number. Please bring that card with you. So personally, what happened to me is that I already had a social security card, but I left it at home. So when I got here, I was like, oh, shoot, I should have brought it. So for the ones that already have a social security card, please bring it with you. There was a person that asked in the Google form if the UCSC will ask for physical transcripts for their undergrads. No, UCSC will not ask for any physical copy of your official transcripts. So there is no need for you guys to print this out. What you're going to do with this official or unofficial transcript, you're going to put it in a USB, in a flash drive, because maybe you might need it once you're here, but you don't need the physical copy. Is that clear? Clear? Super clear? All right, so important documents, I-20, super important. Letter of acceptance, letter of invitation, letter of recommendation, whatever letter you have. And for the people that already have SSN card, bring it with you. Cool? All right. So this thing was the thing that I struggled with the most, because when I got here, the UCSC was like, we need this. And I was like, what is that? This is a medical clearance. And basically, this medical clearance is the proof that you have all of these vaccines. All of these vaccines that you are watching in the screen right now, you have to have proof that you have them. So, and also, this document has to be in English. So I'm going to share what it happened to me. I already have my record. I didn't bring it because I wasn't ready. So when I was here, the health center asked me like, "Hey Laura, we need this proof of your vaccination. Do you have it with you?" And I was like, "No, I don't have it, and especially I don't have it in English." So if for the ones that are at home right now, if you guys have this document, if you have this proof of vaccination, and if you have the opportunity to make the translation, please do so. Please bring that proof of vaccination, because you are going to need it. So you want to know what I ended up doing? So I had to take all of these vaccines again. So in 1 week, I had to take the TTBFB. Well, I mean, I remember that my first month I had to take like a lot of vaccinations. Why? Because this thing is super important. So again, make sure that if you have these records, if you have this proof of vaccination at home, bring them with you, okay? Or yeah, bring them with you, make the translation, and have them ready, because you are going to be asked. Is that clear? All right, so I'm going to continue. And some additional things important that things that you should bring with you is food from home. So I love Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is the best, but Santa Cruz is not very well known because of their food options. So if you are picky about like, I don't know, like some treat from your home country, you may want to make a little bit of room in your suitcase so you can bring a little bit of these snacks from your hometown, because here in Santa Cruz is not very easy to get. Most likely, for most of us, we have to go to San Jose. We have to go over the hill. That's how they call San Jose here. We have to go to San Jose and buy our things, our snacks from our own countries, from our home countries over there. So if you are picky about those little snacks, you make room for those things in your suitcase. Another very important thing, and I think this is mostly for people from Europe, I think, bring the power adapter. Yeah. So if you don't have it, you bring it, because for sure you are gonna need it. I mean, it's not like you cannot find one of those here. You can, but I mean, if you have it ready, bring it with you. Okay. Additional treat. Okay. And now we got to a very, 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 very important part, before, like, you have to have in mind when you come here. And why is that? Because for some of us, we are start our first payment is on October, so we have to be here at least 1 month, with living with our own expenses, living with our own money. So the finances are very, very, very important. And again, this information that we are giving you to you today is based on our own experience. So this information is only to give you a very general insight of how the expenses might look like in every month. Okay. So renting in Santa Cruz is not super, super cheap, but on average, you most likely are going to pay 1,300 a month. And this is on average. This is in a house, and you're going to have housemates. This is sharing a house. So for example, in my personal case, I am paying right now 1,100, and I do live with my landlady, with the owner of the house. And yeah, I am paying 1,100, which is okay. For Santa Cruz is okay. I have heard people paying 1,600, 1,500. It is going to move around those prices, but on average, you're going to pay 1,300 a month if you want to live outside of the campus. If you want to live around Santa Cruz. And we're going to talk about the housing later on this presentation, okay? If you want to live in a studio, like private place, private bathroom for you, this might be a little bit more expensive. And the price on average might be 2,200. So if you already have a friend, if you already know somebody that you are going to come with, you can share a studio, you can talk about this, but be aware that these are the prices. All right. Nice. For the food, this depends, of course. These prices depend on how are you. Do you like cooking? Do you enjoy cooking? Or are you lazy like me? I hate cooking. I don't like cooking. So I eat mostly outside. So most of my expenses goes, to food. But if you like cooking, if you enjoy cooking, this aspect might be cheap for you. So on average, you are going to be expending between 400 and 800 a month buying groceries. Again, this depends on how if you like to cook, or if you don't like to cook, because eating outside in Santa Cruz might be a little expensive, right? So they are in a regular restaurant. Most likely, you are going to pay between $20 to $30 a meal in a restaurant in downtown in Santa Cruz. So it might be, a little pricey. And also, there is a very, very nice option here on campus, which are the dining halls. So what I did last quarter was that I got banana slugs because for you all to know, here on campus we don't work with cash. We don't pay with cash. We have to pay with this thing called banana slugs or flexi dollars. And if you get these banana slugs, no, banana bugs, sorry, banana bugs. If you get these banana bugs, one meal in the dining hall might be around $12, like $12.23. So it is a little bit cheaper than going outside of campus. So what I was doing last quarter was that I would get a meal, like I would eat a big lunch, and for dinner I would just have, like a tea or, oh, wait a minute. The lights went off. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. And yeah, so what I did last quarter was that I went to the dining hall. I bought one big lunch, and for the night I wasn't eating that much. So my expenses in the food were very good last quarter. All right. Another very important aspect is entertainment. So again, this depends on what you like. For example, I love outdoor things, and most outdoor things are for free. So hiking in the mountains, hiking in these beautiful redwoods is for free. But if you enjoy going to the movies or going to the beach or having drinks with your friends, you might be spending around $50 and $80 a month, doing all these activities. But again, this depends on your expenses. The cell phone plan are super, super, super important. And these cell phone plans might vary between $15 to $50, depending on the career that you choose. So for example, I chose not a very good one. I'm not gonna say the name, but I pay $15 a month. It's not the greatest, but it's good for me to communicate. And also, I spend most of the day here on campus, so it's not that I use it a lot. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my plan. But maybe some of you might need a lot more data, a lot more minutes. So for you guys to know, this is the rank where you are going to be moving between $15 to $50. All right. Another aspect, I'm going to move this thing because I cannot see the transportation. Another very important thing is transportation. So when you get your UCSC ID, which I don't have it with me, lame, you're gonna get your beautiful ID, your beautiful card, and with this card, you're going to show it to a bus driver, and all buses in Santa Cruz, within Santa Cruz, are gonna be for free. So this is super nice. This is super convenient because transportation might be a little bit pricey. So again, the transportation within Santa Cruz is for free if you show your ID. If you want to go to San Jose or San Francisco, you have to pay for those buses. So when you come here, you're gonna know the 17, that one is not for free. They are working very hard to make it for free for us as students, but right now it is not for free. But within Santa Cruz, it's for free. If you are planning on having a car, you might know that the expenses are going to be around 200 a month on gas and another 200 a month for the maintenance. So I don't have a car, and so I have no idea what it to have a car here in Santa Cruz. But if you are planning to having a car, please be aware of these expenses. There is another super, super, super nice option for people here in Santa Cruz, and it is the B-cycle. B-cycle are electric bikes that you can park them in. There are like several racks around Santa Cruz, and you go to one of these racks, you take an electric bike, and you can use it like all over the place. I think it is for 1 hour. You can use it all over the place for 1 hour, and then you go to the next rack and you leave your electric bike in this rack. This system is the best. This system is the greatest. I don't use it because I have my own bike. So I bike all over the place. But for my friends that don't have a car, that they don't enjoy the bus because they don't like the public transportation, the electric bikes are the best. So if you like this option, this might be an option for you. And since we are in students from the UCSC, we have a great discount. And I don't know if this price is going to stay like this for the next fall, but I know that right now it is $12 a year. Yeah. I mean, it is super, 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 super nice. It is an excellent price. And again, for the people that enjoy biking, these are electric bikes, and this is a very nice option. Okay, so if we sum up all of these expenses, we get to the total to be around 2,000 to 3,500 a month. So, for me, I was paid on October, so I was here 1 month living on my own expenses. So, mm, it was it was I struggle a little bit, but it's doable. It's doable, okay? And yeah, the thing is that sometimes the payment might be a little bit delayed in some cases. So yeah, you be ready for these expenses. Do we have any questions in our chat?
Yeah, I think
I bet.
yeah, we're good. We're going along. If we miss any along the way, please just, like let us know later. But I think Mayang and I are trying to answer
Okay,
whatever
yeah,
comes.
I bet I'm going super fast. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
All right,
you're great.
all right. So let's see what is next here. Oh, okay, housing.
All right. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, which is housing. So first, I just want to start with some short-term housing options. So for those of you who don't have housing yet and want to come here and stay at a hotel for a couple of days, we'll go through that. So basically, here we have like a screenshot map of kind of Santa Cruz, not all Santa Cruz, but parts of it. So this is like the downtown area where you'll be able to find like a lot of food options as well as stores. So if you need to buy like any basic necessities, that's like a good place to be. Motels, there's a lot of motels and hotels in this area, which is near the ocean. They tend to range anywhere between 95 to 200 a night, depending on the quality. And I chose to focus on this area specifically because, again, it's like walking distance to the downtown area. So you don't have to worry about finding a transportation to, like, I don't know, buy stuff for yourself. Um, and there's also a lot of buses in the area. So it's really easy to get from this area to campus. And it's also short distance to the beach, which you all definitely should explore because it's really beautiful here. The three that I chose to focus on are these three inns that I just looked at Google. It seems like so these are one of the cheaper options, and they have like pretty good reviews. The Drift Inn, Ocean Gate, and Beach View. But obviously, if you just look at Google in this area, there's like a ton of other options, and you can feel free to choose from that. So those are some short-term options if you want to find a hotel for like the first week or so. Another option that worked for a couple of people that I know is renting a room for like 2 to 3 months, the first 2 to 3 months that you get here. And then once that lease ends, you can also find long-term housing starting in the fall for the following year. So a lot of the times people will have a lease, let's say that ends sometime in the fall, but then they would leave in the summer. And so like there's a room that's open for like 2 to 3 months. And so basically you can rent those room and then throughout the time that you're staying in that room for 2 to 3 months, you can continue like actively look for housing um, and sign a lease for the year. And that worked great. I think that's what you did, right, Laura? Do you have anything to add? Because yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think we can move to the next slide. All right, so how to actually find housing. There's a couple of different UCSC housing lists. You can subscribe to this Google form and we'll make sure to also maybe send out the link so you'll have it for later. But basically you can sign up in this Google form and you'll be a part of a email list. So if there's anyone out there who's looking for roommates, have rooms to rent, houses to rent, they'll send out an email and you'll get those emails. So that's one great way to find housing. Another housing listing that are specifically for students is this thing called Places for Students. And you'll have to log in with your Cruz ID and password, which you should have set up already. And you can basically just find a bunch of available housing in the area. That's a nice place to find that. So when I first moved, I actually found my housing through Facebook. So I joined this group called the UCSC Housing Sublet and Roommates. I think it's an unofficial group. It is private and you have to request to join, but if I remember correctly, you just have to provide your UCSC email and then someone will accept you. But yeah, that's a really nice place too, because then you can also like put a post up saying like, hey, I'm looking for, such and such housing. This is my budget, et cetera, et cetera. And you can also see like other people who may be looking for roommates. So definitely use these three options if you're looking for housing, and we'll make sure to send those links as well. Okay, I think we're ready for the next slide. Cool. All right. So we've covered housing within Santa Cruz. There's also other options outside of Santa Cruz. So if we're here in Santa Cruz near the ocean, the other next closest town that you can find housing is probably Aptos. So that's about 20 minutes away by car. I think there's also buses. And the other option would be Scotts Valley, which is about 25 minutes by car. And I think that a lot of people who go to UCSC live in these areas already. So you can also always like reach out to people if you don't have a car to see if you can carpool. I know that worked for some folks. Housing outside of Santa Cruz tends to be slightly cheaper. So that's something to consider. If you do plan on getting a car, you can also consider living somewhere a bit farther, which is Los Gatos here or San Jose. So Los Gatos will be about 30 minutes away from Santa Cruz and San Jose about 45 minutes. San Jose is obviously a bigger city. So if you prefer that more, you may enjoy living in San Jose a bit more. There's a lot of really good food and yeah, things tend to be just slightly cheaper in San Jose than Santa Cruz. So those are some other options too. And obviously you can look through those different links provided before to see if there are any housing available in these other areas. And lastly, we also have on-campus housing. So some of you might already be a part of graduate student housing. And there's also family student housing as well. And I just also want to just put out a disclaimer because I don't want anyone to fall a victim. There's actually a lot of housing scams in Santa Cruz, and I've known a couple people who were victims of that. So just make sure that you don't, like never send anyone any money until you know that the place is real. And also like just talk to other people in your department. Because yeah, housing in Santa Cruz can be difficult to find, and scams are everywhere. Um, but I think that's basically it in terms of the housing part.
Okay, so for transportation, so we'll talk about a few different things. One is like going from the airport and also separately within Santa Cruz. So it's likely that you will probably fly into SFO, San Francisco Airport. It's one of the international airports. So from SFO, you can take the train, the BART train to other areas in San Francisco or San Jose. You need a Clipper card to travel on the train, and you can buy that when you're there itself. But I would advise to bring cash. I could not use my international credit card when to buy on the machine, so it may be better to have cash ready. And depending on where you're going and how far you're going, the fares are around $10 to $20. From the airport, the Uber or the Lyft would cost around $150 to $200. It may be, like easier to do that if you're sharing rides with other people. So I'm just going to put a link in the chat. This is a document where you all can maybe put in your details of when you're arriving and which days that you'd want to travel to Santa Cruz. So to see whether you could potentially ride share together with other international students or other students in general. There's also the bus that goes from San Jose to Santa Cruz. So you can also take the train from San Francisco or SFO over to San Jose and then take the bus from there. The whole journey is quite, I have never done it, but the whole journey is going to be quite difficult. So just make sure that if you are doing that, try to have not too much luggage with you and just have cash so that you can be ready to pay for a lot of the things. What I would suggest, which I did, was to contact your advisor or other students within the department to see about carpooling, or whether people can kind of pick you up, or whether you can share rides together. I think that would probably be the easiest and the most like pain-free option. Or also, maybe with other international students to see about going. Because if you are taking other forms of transport from San Francisco or San Jose to Santa Cruz, you may have to change quite a lot. So it could be quite tedious. So we can go on to the next slide, please. Laura?
Just give me 1 second. I don't know
Sure.
why this thing is not working. You see, you would think that after COVID, we would be better with technology, but no. Sorry, Mayan, can you help me? Because I don't know what's going on with my screen.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Do you want me to share instead?
Oh,
Oh, you figured it out.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. So around Santa Cruz, there are buses, and as Laura had mentioned before, so the buses are free for students. At the beginning, when you arrive, you probably wouldn't have your student ID yet, and usually it's a long wait at the library to get your student ID, so it may take some time. So you can just get on the bus and tell them that you're a student and that you don't have your ID yet. A lot of the drivers are quite accommodating and they're quite, relaxed about it. There's also the B-cycle option, which is $12 a year. Within the city, parking is often free. So if you do have a car, on-street parking or other parking is usually free. There are some paid parking spots, but you can usually find like parking for free quite easily. If it's on campus, you will need to get a parking permit, which may make sense depending on how often you're going to be on campus. If you're going to be on campus quite often, it's probably better to get the parking permit, and you can get that through the UCSC transport and parking services. If you're not on campus too often, it may be better to just get the one-off parking. And on to the next slide, please. If we're able to.
If technology allows me to do so. Sorry, Sasha.
No worries, take your time. I guess maybe I'll just start talking about the next one, which is about being an international student, both in terms of visa and culture and other elements. I think one of the things to sort of like be just, ready and prepared for mentally and emotionally and otherwise is that the culture may be quite different from what you're used to. And there may be moments questioning your identity or wondering what you're doing there or like being like, oh my God, this is great that I'm here. There's like a whole array of things that you're going to go through. So just to sort of be prepared for that. Um, and also to know that like, it's helpful to continue having a connection with social networks back home as you go through the PhD program in general. It can be quite isolating at times. It can be a real like shift in the way that your life is and how you operate and navigate yourself. So it's sometimes good to just stay grounded in whatever helps for you, and also to keep, like close connection with people who have been in your life before you move over to UCSC. And in terms of the visa, there is this flow chart here which talks about the different steps of visa necessities. I just want to say, I'm gonna include this with my personal experience of moving to Santa Cruz. I've lived in a lot of different countries, and actually, like the visa process in the US was one of the more difficult ones that I experienced. And it usually you need to have one document before you can go on to the next stage, and if you don't have that, you cannot go on to the next one. So it's really important that you make sure that you're on top of whatever documents that you need in order to go ahead. Your bank account may depend on whether you have your employment, which may depend on your social security number and all of these different things. So just try to stay on top of those, and just like know, that there's a flow to going through it. During my first week, that was the documents were actually it wasn't just my first week. I ended up getting my funding only in December, because of all of the problems that it took with all the documentation. So yeah, just it'd be good to be ready for that. And I'll also answer the other things about my personal experiences about moving to Santa Cruz. I think that I was initially quite surprised at the prices in Santa Cruz, even though I had been told before, because really like food was more expensive than I was expecting. And it was like normal food, it wasn't fancy food. So yeah, I think just be a little bit ready to perhaps like spend more or spend differently from what you're accustomed to. And then also like, I think that some things that felt that they should be simple, for example, buying an adapter actually was quite difficult because I had to take a particular bus to go to one place to get an adapter, and I had to take another bus to another place to get groceries and all that sort of thing. Just navigating the space and like, things aren't really always very close to each other. So there were those things. But I was also super excited about like starting this new journey and, like being in a new place. And I arrived kind of in September and the weather was beautiful. It was sunny and it was by the beach. There are like, it's a beautiful beach. There are like, wild sea lions that you can see quite often. There are all these rides and places there. So that's really gorgeous. The campus is beautiful. There are these redwood trees, and just walking along it, you have to walk kind of through the forest sometimes to get to different buildings, and it's just like beautiful to believe that that is where you're studying and where you are living. So there's a lot of like, positives and some things that may be challenging. And I think it's just, you can try to be prepared as much as you can. And also just know, like, sometimes you may have to be expansive or fluid in different things that come up at different points. And, like, one of the reasons why we wanted to start this program as well was for these very reasons. Along the way, there may be sometimes individual cases that come up where there are specific challenges. So hopefully us as peer mentors are going to be able to help you all through, for like, individual or general things that come up along the way. I'll pass it on to Laura if you would like to also talk about your personal experiences moving to Santa Cruz.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Yeah, so geez, my brain is still answering the questions from the chat. Geez, there was a lot of questions, but I hope that we're doing a good job here in the chat. So, okay, I'm gonna let you know my experience. My experience was positive because, as Sasha said, I kept all of my documents up to date. I am a nerd and I have all my documents printed out. A very useful tip that I'm going to give you all today is whenever you have time, whenever you have your physical documents, take a picture of those documents or scan those documents, and you're going to have remember the flash drive that I mentioned at the beginning. You're going to save all of these documents, the scan all of these documents in your flash drive, okay? Because later on you're gonna be asked for these documents in a digital manner. So it is very handy. So if you can have the scanned documents, it's very handy. Give me 1 second that again, my computer is about to die. All right. So, as I was saying, my experience was very positive because I had all my documents in order. Anytime they asked me for my documents, I had the scan, the scan of that specific document. So it was only a matter of uploading it, sending them, emailing them. So it was very easy. And the payment I was paid on October, so I only had to wait 1 month because I got here in August, in late August. So I only had to wait 1 month, living off my own expenses, and yeah, I had a very 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 positive experience. And for the year that I have been here, I've had a very very positive experience in the chemistry department. So Mayan, would you like to share?
Yeah, actually, I wonder if we can pivot to answering one of the questions regarding the health insurance. I don't know if it's different for different departments, but I know as an MCD student, uh, our insurance are covered. So that's like I don't have to pay anything more. If I go get a prescription, maybe I have to like pay $5 instead of like $50, something like that. So it should be covered, but I would probably double check with your department official because I don't know if that differs from department to department.
I would like to add, thank you so much, Mayang. And yeah, I would like to ask to this question. Yeah, a lot of things are covered within. So as soon as you get here, you're going to have this UC ship, which is the name of the insurance that you as students are going to have. And this UC ship is very nice. I mean, it works nice. And why I'm telling you so, because I have experience. I want you to see. I just had a bad experience. I fell on the stairs and I cracked my foot. And I went to the urgency care and they had to take an x-ray. So, you know, a lot of you or some of you might know how expensive can this be. I had to take an x-ray. They gave me medication. And yesterday, this happened last week. And yesterday I got a bill from the urgency care, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to pay $348." And I was like, "What? No, there is no way." So I went to a health center, and they were like, "No, no, 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 no. You don't have to pay anything. Like you only have to pay $25 for the service, but UC Ship is going to take care of this charge. So you don't worry." So for the person that was asking for the health insurance, we are covered by UC Ship, and it's very good. By experience, I am telling you, it is very very good. Okay, so we reached to the questions and we are perfect timing. It is 10:54 right now. So for the sake of time, we have 5 minutes. So what do we guys want to do? Would we want to go through the chat and answer the questions that haven't been answered?
I think that's
Or
a great
maybe
idea.
Yeah, and maybe if you all feel comfortable to it may be easier if you either raise your hand or unmute and ask your question. Yeah, because
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to get to know some of you, like only
Yeah.
some of you. So
Yep.
for a brave person that would like to turn on the mic, turn on the camera, if you have a question that maybe we didn't see in the chat, please go ahead and do so.
Hey,
Laura,
hello.
do you want to stop the recording so that folks can?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. I saw you. We're going to answer. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop the recording. Stop.